So this is the node class that we are using to create the trees. It's having data right and left. So this is the first tree. It starts from root, and here we are setting up all the edges. And now this is the tree 2, which is starting from root 2, and we have added right and left to it. Now let's create function in order where we will do the in order traversal. So let's create the function public static void in order, and here in this function we will pass the root node from where we are going to start the traversal, and we are going to pass list to store the data, the node data in order. And in order we know that first we traverse the left, so left is again a tree, so we are going to call in order recursively for node.left, and again we're going to pass this list so that it will store the data in list. And now we are going to call in order recursively for right, and we're going to pass the list. And these are the subtasks. Now the main task will complete, the original task will complete when we will read the current node. And you know the order, first comes left and then the node itself. So here we are directly adding the data of the node in the list. So now the sequence is perfect, and now the base case is if node itself is null, then return from here without doing anything. This is it. So this is the in order function. So we are going to do two traversals here, first in order and the another is pre-order, right? So here let's say this is pre-order, and you know the order in pre-order, first we add data in the node and data for the node itself, and then comes the left and then the right. So just change the order and function call here, everything else is correct. So we have created in order and pre-order. So here we are storing the in order traversal in list, and here we are storing the pre-order traversal in list. So these were the two prerequisites for our main function. So here let's create our main method. Let's say this function is to check if given tree is subtree or not. So here let's write this public static boolean, and let's say check subtree. This is the main function, and here we're gonna pass the tree 1 and tree 2, right? So this is tree and this is the subtree. Here we will check if the subtree is null, then we can say that the subtree is actually subtree of the tree, right? So if the subtree is null, we will return true from here. And if tree itself is null, if tree is null, then we can't say this and we will return false from here. And now we will do the in order traversal. So let's create two lists to store in order traversals for tree and for the subtree. So this is the first list in which we are going to store the in order traversal for tree. So this is the first array list, and now let's call in order by passing the tree and this list first. And now let's create the list in which we are going to store the traversal for the subtree, and we are going to call it second. And here let's change this to sub, and let's change first to second. So after getting these lists filled up with data, we are going to convert these lists to strings so that we can compare these lists. So here let's create a function to convert these lists to string. So private static string, and let's call this method list to string, and let's pass the list that we want to convert to string. So this is list integer, and now here let's return list dot to string dot replace, and here we are going to replace the brackets and commas, right? So replace the bracket with empty string. Now replace the close bracket with empty string. Close bracket, and here let's replace it with empty string. And now after this we're gonna replace comma with empty string. Comma, and here let's write empty string. So this is the function that will convert the list to string. Now let's invoke this function for getting the equivalent strings for first and second. So here list to string, and here let's pass the first, and now check if this contains list to string, and in this let's pass second, and we are going to do it reverse. In reverse we are going to check if the first does not contain second, then return false, else go ahead with pre-order traversal. So here again we are going to do traversal, so we will be needing first and second to store the result for the traversals. So we are going to clear the data from first and second, and now let's call pre-order, and in this, as the tree pass tree, and as the structure in which we are going to store the data pass first, and now here pass the subtree and pass second. So this will result to pre-order traversals for first and second, and we are going to do the same thing. We are going to convert these lists to string. We are going to check if the first contains the second. If the first contains second, that means it is the substring of first, and the tree is subtree of the tree one. And here column. So that's it. This is the implementation. Now let's go to the main method and check if the subtree that we have created is subtree of the main tree or not. So here in main method we are going to print the boolean results. So we are going to suss out it. So system.out.println, and here let's call check subtree. But before verifying the result with the subtree that we have created, let's pass root.left as the subtree. It must return true as its own left is its subtree. So it returns true, and now let's check it with the subtree that we have created. So here at the place of root.left we are going to pass root2. And now let's save this and again run this. So this time it must return false as 456 is not a subtree of this tree. So let's save this and let's run this. So see, it returns false.